And we are live. Welcome to Gamers Health. If you've watched this channel, you know that I'm Tenkar. This is my lovely wife, Rach.
Hello.
And we do a weekly live stream talking about different issues that affect the health of gamers, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. We cover the gauntlet because in the end,
It all connects.
it all connects. We are, well, Rach is training to be a yoga instructor, and yoga is very much connecting the physical, the spiritual, the emotional, the mental. It's all these aspects. You're not just working the body; you're working the mind. You're working the spirit. So, and I know this, and I am not a yogi or a practitioner.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, I got that.
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day when I can lift my arm higher.
Look, it's coming.
We're getting there. I have I'm about to say cirrhosis as we get to the liver.
Stenosis
in my left shoulder.
Basically scarring.
Yeah, from radiation about, I don't know, a dozen or more years ago when I had Hodgkin's. So, what are we going to cover today? Well, Rach, you have. I'm going to give the ball into your court. Do you want to touch on what you were going over in yoga? Do you want to do that now, or do you want me to slam them with social media and then we do you? That didn't sound right. Excuse me, folks. We're happily
whatever you want to do.
All right. Well, then, folks, I'm gonna warm you up, and then Rach will take it into probably a nicer world.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Yeah, that sounds better, right?
Yeah, we don't want to leave you going, fuck everybody, you know.
Yeah. So, why is the dog barking? Yesterday, I was out in my backyard filming the cast, and my kitty was in the window upstairs where we are, shaking the screen because Daddy was outside.
Oh, you were filming downstairs.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was the iPad test. I got to do more. I'll be doing more iPad tests throughout the week because I want to make sure it's going to be a proper device for me to take to North Texas RPG Con, and I can leave behind my laptop, which means I travel just a wee bit lighter. That's healthy, right? So, what am I going to cover today? Well, again, yesterday I covered a bit about how not to how to get me to block you or ban you from a community that I run, and usually that means not having an honest argument or discussion. All right, it's social media, so almost every discussion becomes some kind of a frickin' argument. I'm trying to be nice in case there are kids listening because it's Gamers Health.
Oops.
That's okay. You don't have to be nice. I'm trying to reform myself. But here's the thing. Social media can be one huge pain in the ass, and it can actually be a huge benefit. All right, especially in the world of COVID, a lot of times we don't get a chance to what was it, like hanging out the water cooler at work. Never did that, but hang out, meet people in the hallway at work, and you have your conversation, you catch up on something, and at work you wouldn't normally talk politics, right? You wouldn't normally discuss certain topics. You discuss
sports TV.
Hey, did you see the latest Game of Thrones? It was like you start talking about that, or The Walking Dead. Me and my captain used to always talk about that. Like, did you see the latest Walking Dead? And it's like, well, actually, Cap, I'm like 3 episodes behind. How can you be 3 episodes behind? And then you'll ruin the next 3 episodes for you as he catches you up. So then he can discuss the episode that you still haven't seen that he wants to discuss. In any case, here's the thing. All right. Social media can do things like that, but it can also devolve into pissing matches. And I was getting into a pissing match yesterday. And there was something about like if you're having a discussion or a disagreement with somebody at work or at the bar, you tend not to get emotionally attached to it. But somehow on social media, because you're not dealing with somebody face to face, you can find yourself getting emotionally attached to something. And I think it's probably worse in the world of COVID. I could be wrong. Who the hell bloody knows? But personally, I think it's dangerous. Now, I also feel that I don't like blocking people. And as a general rule, I don't like banning people from communities. Banning people from communities happens more often because generally, if you're a-hole, wow, I'm really doing a great job at censoring myself. Regular viewers are going to be stunned. But if you are acting like an a-hole, if you're making personal attacks on other members of the community, banning you, it's a done deal, right? Nobody argues it. But if I block somebody because we had a disagreement, that doesn't feel right. But if I block somebody because we had a disagreement, or we had an ongoing conversation, and the discussion devolved into either you putting words into my mouth that I didn't say, well, you said, and I go, no, I didn't, or you quote me, and it's right above, right above in the discussion train, and it's not what I typed. I will ban you or block you in this case because you're not having an honest discussion. So now, what do you do in this world of COVID where, again, a lot of our conversations have moved into this social media area? Well, I did something today that I never thought I would do. And it's a good friend of mine, somebody I've known for years, not just on social media. A friend I've known for years, a friend that I deal with outside of social media. Started talking not just politics, but mansplaining politics. And I'm going to... So basically saying that, you're wrong, but you're wrong because you're stupid. And that wasn't directed at me. It was just directed in general at one political party. And
meanwhile, he doesn't know how... Well, never mind. Let me know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, folks. If this happened in a bar, I tell the person, hey, you're fucking full of shit. Sorry for dropping the S-bomb. Go F yourself. And then I'd probably say, hey, how about those Mets? Let me buy you a beer. Right? Because I'm gonna change the discussion. He's like, and they'll probably go, oh yeah, well, yeah, you're right. That's something I should be like having a discussion with my wife at home before she decides to kick me out of the house. Something like that. But because we're on social media and you don't get that feedback, right? You don't get, it becomes like, well, I'm going to type this out and I'm going to lecture you. And anybody comes back at me, well,
nobody asked you.
You're wrong, right? You're stupid.
Like nobody asked this person probably for their...
Nobody did. No. They decided to make this...
But they're going to educate everybody. And listen, thank God.
Well, here's the thing, right? Social media is an intoxicant, all right? We talk about, when somebody's at a bar and they've had too much to drink, they get beer muscles, right? And it's like, puff up my chest and I'll tell you something.
Yeah, you don't need beer when
you don't need beer
on the internet, I guess.
You get these you get the social media bull muscles. I'm trying real hard, folks. This ain't easy. But really, you get these, and you wouldn't do this face to face. You wouldn't sit yourself in, because what's the internet, right? You're doing this and you're hoping that tens, dozens, 100 people will read it, right? You wouldn't sit yourself down in the lunchroom at the cafeteria at work, right? Where it's like, say 20 people having lunch and go, hey, I'd like to spout off on some political opinions and you're all going to listen to me. And if you disagree with me, you're a moron. You wouldn't do that, but you do it on the internet. I'm not saying you particularly. I'm just saying that people in general do it. Otherwise...
And who are you to judge who's ignorant? You don't know who you're speaking to.
Well, see, and that's part of the issue. So otherwise, well-adjusted individual... Well, all right, maybe this person isn't totally well-adjusted, but... But in any case, somebody who would not normally make such proclamations in meat space, right, in physical space, will do so on the internet. And so what do you do? And
it's somebody who's very well loved.
Truly
very well loved.
Listen, if this person needed a kidney, I would give a kidney. All right, without even batting an eye. But that's neither here nor there. My mental health suffers from having to stumble across this because my instinct, right, is to say, respectfully, you're full of crap. And I'll explain to you why you're full of crap. And that's not going to do any good, right? It doesn't benefit a friendship. And it doesn't benefit the person who's got the beer muscles on that's going to, is looking for that type of reaction. So I do something that I rarely do, but it's a feature on Facebook that you can do. That was pretty interesting. You can still be friends with somebody, but you can unfollow them. And when you unfollow them, it means that what they post won't pop up in your feed.
Okay.
So if somebody that you happen to personally like and are friends with starts spouting off crap that gets under your skin, because that's what happens with social media. And you don't want to like unfriend the person, because I don't want to unfriend.
Not at all.
You just go and you go, oh, unfollow, and it basically puts them on silent.
And you can follow them anytime you want,
Yes,
right?
I
like
can,
you can turn it back on.
right.
But, sometimes it's okay to take a break, and
right.
Yeah.
My personal sanity. And here's the thing, folks, and I think this is an important thing.
Because he's allowed to post whatever he wants to post on his Facebook.
You can do
We're all allowed to disagree. And,
right.
There's still room for everybody.
For me, my mindset is, if I wouldn't sit down at a cafeteria at work and say this to everybody seated, right? And say, hey, my opinion is not, or I'm going to state facts. Well, my opinion, but coming from me.
But I'll call them facts.
I'm going to call them facts. If I wouldn't do it in a cafeteria amongst coworkers, why am I going to do it on the internet? All right. Think about that. Why? Aside from the desire to gather attention, again, we talk about mansplaining, which is the man being the arrogant F. It's like, well, you don't know anything about electronics. Let me show you. You know what? Nobody likes to hear that, whether it is a woman hearing it from a man about thinking they doesn't know about it, or you hearing it from somebody else talking about politics, or somebody giving you a speech on religion, or even how to properly play a game, right? Nobody says you have to listen to it. And if you know the individual is going to probably spout off more, and I'm quite sure the individual will spout off more, I'm best off not listening. I don't want to affect the real friendship I have with this person. Really. Because I know if I was sitting at the bar with them, they wouldn't do this. They wouldn't. If they would, and if they were at a cafeteria at work, their mouths would be quiet. Most of us would.
Right, or if it was a conversation in the bar, it'd be like rah rah rah, rah for a little while, and be like, okay, well, what are we doing next?
Right, yeah. If we shout you down, you shut up and talk sports. Put on Blue Bloods on TV. Why the hell are we watching Blue Bloods? The Mets are playing. Well, the Mets suck. And that's the way it should be. All right, that's the way it should be. So again, unfollow is a great tool. I never realized that until I realized that. So, and again, that's mental health. Real huge aspect of mental health and relationships, real relationships with people. Social media, can you build true friendships on social media? Assuredly. I have no doubt you can. But you can also kill real friendships on social media if you allow social media to do so. So take steps to protect the true friendships that you have. All right. Again, we are in that horrible, nebulous post-presidential election time, so it's all still insane. The wounds are still raw on both sides, right? We're still in the pandemic, whether you believe it's horrible or coming to an end. It's still a huge thing, right? So some people are still mostly locked down. It's changing how we interact with people. Don't allow that to affect your friendships, your true friendships. So take actions, take precautions, little things. Unfollow if you need to. If they want you, they'll ping you, right? They'll, oh well, this thing's for Tenko to read. And then let them reach out to you directly. If they're pissing into the wind, let them piss into the wind. All right, just don't get splattered by it. Is that a good way to say it?
Yes.
All right.
I'd say.
And that was probably the cleanest word I didn't. All right. Well, I guess I probably couldn't say anything worse than pissing. I tried to be good, folks. I really did. It ain't easy to uncopify yourself. But I'm married to an Irish American woman, and you're not going to take the Irish out of her. So,
no.
Rach, you were doing your yoga training today, and I was listening in, and as a layman, I heard them talking about anxiety and
depression,
PTSD, kind of like a survivor's guilt type of deal too. A lot of stuff that affects mental and emotional health.
Yeah,
and like I said, as we were getting into this, that yoga, most of us laymen think of yoga, it's like, oh, look, it's women in funny
these poses.
It's women in these funny poses.
Yeah, put that nice lady in front, like Diamond Dallas Page does.
Yeah. It's like, oh,
the lady with the yoga butt.
Look at me. I'm in a yoga pose. But it's a lot more to yoga than that. So, Rach, why don't we touch upon what you were actually going and learning today?
Yeah, so understanding the symptoms of anxiety and depression and PTSD isn't anything that's new to me. The thing that was new to me was sort of looking at different ways that yoga can be used, and different aspects of yoga can be used to help with managing some of the symptoms and helping, toward healing with people who have anxiety, depression, PTSD. So, it was pretty cool. It was nice to be able to do that, because you can. For me, I always think it's great to be able to involve meditation, mindfulness, some of the yoga aspects, some of the breathing exercises that you do in yoga into the therapy. So right. I have been starting to do some of that, and but the interesting part was being able to look at, different poses that can help, different ways of setting a class with different themes and Dharma talks, and just creating meditations and things like that from there.
Well, I was overhearing parts of it, and I, again, as a layman, I was like, whoa, this is some heavy crap that they're laying on these poor yoga instructors. You're going to, part of what I was hearing was from a rape survivor.
Yes.
And I was like, oh. And now, I'll be honest with you, listening in, I was like, wow, this is like some of the heavy, intensive training that I went through.
Yeah.
When I took some advanced courses as investigative supervisor. And actually, I was having some flashbacks to when we took when I went to my sex crimes and child abuse course. And we got to hear from survivors of both adult survivors that were assaulted as adults and survivors that were assaulted as children. And you were just like, oh my God. And the topics were very raw.
Yeah.
So I can only I got some of the emotions back from my God, must be going on 15 years ago now.
Yeah.
When I went through that course. It was it was a well done course that was done in conjunction with, I think, NYU.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually done in the college facilities.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was a 5-day course. The third day was the day that separated the well, I'm not going to say the men from the boys, but
Oh.
it was the day that they actually had you view uh, child pornography.
Mhm.
And the deal pretty much was you have to view it so you know the evil that it is. And we had a few people who had to leave the room,
Sure.
and they were actually told that, listen, when everybody else goes to meal, you will sit here and watch the rest of it.
Oh, wow.
I didn't tap out.
Which, you know, is interesting because you'd be like, okay, they left the room because they were triggered.
Right? No,
You know, their previous memories, like, how can we help you? What can we do for you? This is hard. Clearly it's hard.
And it wasn't the NYPD instructor that was telling them. It was a civilian instructor from.
Wow, the professor from NYU.
Yeah, it's like you have to. And it was like, listen, if even if you have personal knowledge of it, you need to see what others have gone through. You have to, because you're going to be, interviewing. Or like in your case, you could
in some ways like a desensitization,
right? But at the same time, to be able to have,
you don't want to be numb to it either.
No, but to be able to have true empathy.
Yes.
And just as a side note, that's one thing that, as an investigator, was really stressed with us, is that you should always have empathy for your complainant, but avoid having sympathy, because sympathy colors how you view the facts, whereas empathy,
that's not constructive,
right? And empathy is because empathy allows you to put yourself in their shoes, certainly, but it doesn't cloud the judgment or the evaluation of what's going on. So, yeah, that's a topic I didn't plan on us going into.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like the professions that we do, they are professions that kind of like change you or impact you, like the vicarious traumatization. We do get impacted in terms of like our relationships, or ways that we might build relationships and make you more cautious or aware of like that person's behavior is kind of red flagging,
right? Or well, all right, well, kind of like what I see, but I can also tell they're putting on a show, which is all things that I'm sure as a social worker you learn that as a cop, which is, by the way, when Rich and I met, I was just like, I don't have the energy to put on a show. I was like, hey, if she doesn't like me for who I am, then that's it. And I was like, wow. She likes me for who I am, and this woman could possibly match me in drinking, which wasn't which at that time
I aim to impress.
I was a few years past my 12 by my
thank you Shamrock Darts ladies.
Yes, I was a few years past what we used to call the. Well, actually, for us, it was a 6x6 as opposed to a 4x4. But you start your day at 5:30 and you get home by 6 the next morning. I was a couple of years removed from that, but now I'm much removed. Now we'll go down to the pub. If I have more than 3 beers, it's like, Rach, hold my hand as I walk home, because I might not be so steady. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not big in it either.
Yeah, see, we both lost our ability. So North Texas is going to be interesting, because I think we might have to do after the Wednesday night alcohol tasting was being sponsored by Chris Stodgill, the Frugal Gamer. I think that we're going to have to do an update later on in the week, maybe on Friday, about Friday or Saturday. We're going to do a Gamer's Health with an update on how the alcohol tasting affected us. Because I don't know how well it's going to be for somebody who hasn't had that much recently. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we shouldn't be. We're not saying abuse alcohol, by the way. She's a social worker. She can't say that. And
Never.
And believe me, I'm a type 2 diabetic with congestive heart failure. I certainly can't say that. So I plan on being around for decades.
Exactly.
So you're stuck with me. Okay, imagine us doing this for decades. We get a longevity bonus. You think we covered it?
I think we did it.
We done did it. We done did it. We did it. Folks, we are still in the midst of the world of COVID. Now, New York State, New York City, some recent changes which I find exciting. What?
Did they really make the changes, or did they say
well
take it back again?
No. Time out. There was one change.
Mhm.
What change did we just see this week?
We got our ability to not mask outside.
All right. What else did we get? Now, we got that last week.
Oh yeah. Then we got to be able to sit at the bar.
Right. You didn't have to sit at a table. You can actually belly up to the bar and have a conversation with your bartender, as opposed to somehow the long wooden, constantly clean bar being the the COVID nexus. So it's incrementalism. When things shut down, there was no incrementalism. It went from, hey,
they're able to be
really
up until midnight, and then what is it, Monday?
This Monday or next Monday, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
4 a.m. Bars, however, there is still a need to social distance. I don't think they're allowed to have dancing.
Yeah, you still have to mask, as far as we all know.
If you're standing up.
If you stand, or you're on your way to the bathroom, or you're walking in, or...
And just so you understand, and I'm not disputing this because I don't know the science behind it, but somehow, when you sit down, by the way, you no longer have to order food when you sit down. You can sit down and just order alcohol. But when you
that we ever do.
Right, we're always getting food.
Yeah.
But apparently, if you're sitting down, COVID says, "Oh, you got the cooties, and we're not coming near you." But the moment you stand up, COVID goes chasing after you. I still don't understand it. Maybe it's a height thing. So maybe if you're short, COVID doesn't.
I would hope so. I'm sure.
So there you go. So maybe that's this. But then, I don't get it because we sit on high bar chairs, so they're high. I don't know, folks. I still don't understand it all. But I'm going to say this much. All right, we're both immunized, so we can make jokes about it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're both far beyond our second week of our second shot, so we are immunized. I'm not saying that you need to go out and get immunized. You know your health situation much better than either of us do. We are not healthcare professionals, not giving any kind of medical advice.
It's not our job.
I will say this. You can't help others. You can't help your family, your loved ones, your friends, your community if you are sick. So I'm going to just say, use your common sense to keep yourself healthy. All right? Because you're doing everybody a favor by keeping yourself healthy. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll your dice, roll them well. Mother's Day is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to wish all the mothers
a
happy Mother's Day. My mother will not be watching this, but if she was, Mom, happy Mother's Day.
We'll call you tomorrow.
We'll definitely. And, Rach became a mother when she found me. Of course, she became the mother to a teenager.
15-year-old.
Yeah. A little angry with the world, but hey, no big deal. Worked out okay, though. Worked out very well. So, God, he's going to be... how old is he this year?
28.
28. Oh, my God. I feel so old. Folks, I guess Father's Day comes up next month. I'll feel even older. Then my birthday comes up in July, and I will be older.
I'm gonna be 50.
She gonna be 50.
You're gonna be able to call me 50.
Yo, you'll be able to join AARP on your own dime as opposed to mine.
Yeah, on my own cred.
Folks, honestly, I want to thank everybody who's signed up and subscribed to the channel. Listen, we do. Rich and I do this live stream every Saturday. Bed Mike and myself do live streams every Wednesday. Myself and either Joe the lawyer or Glenn Hallstrom almost every Friday. There's a couple Fridays that don't check out the way the schedule is, but we do live streams, and then of course I put up a vidcast podcast on a daily basis when we're not doing live streams, and the response over the past month has been overwhelmingly awesome. So I want to thank each and every one of you, and really, we do this live stream because my life is a blessing, literally a blessing. And I just, hope to affect one or two lives positively. And it means that my blessing has carried on and gone to help others. What more could you want?
Yes.
So I know I'm rambling. We should sign off so we can go to the pub and belly up at the bar and have our dinner.
Yum.
Well, maybe not belly up to the bar, but whatever. All right, folks. Again, happy Mother's Day. Thank you.